So here we are on this pretty humid day, Amarillo, Texas. Today I'm going to be walking Dry Creek, just trying to showcase how terrible it is up here. Wish that I could be picking up a little bit of trash right now, but I unfortunately do not have any bags on me. We just recently did a cleanup here, pretty sure it was in February. Invited a bunch of kids from Amarillo College to come out and clean this field right here. And we got a decent amount done. Forget how many bags, but great turnout for Keep Amarillo Clean. Something we definitely need a lot more of. So, creek starts about up here. There's a nice little, somebody's property. It's got a nice little lake over there. That's basically where the water starts. But we don't want to go mess with that. This is what we're here for. We're here for this empty field that's owned by somebody, and this right here. I especially wanted to do this to showcase the breakdown of plastics and of other trash in our environment that we are allowing to happen because we do not care about trash in this town. I'm sure a lot more people care than what we think, but it's so hard to illustrate this unless you're out here and you look at it. You can see this bag. Look at that. That is, you can see on my hand, it's fragmenting, turning into nothing. And that's it. According to what people report, it's normally around 10 years that it takes for those to break down, that I'm calling BS. I don't think it takes 10 years for a plastic bag to turn into shards. I think it's maybe 5. You can see by the trees, this is where the water, this is actually where Dry Creek begins, over at those trees. So, mainly elms, of course, but worried about snakes a little bit, of course, out here. But I've already walked this area. Haven't seen anything like that, but point being is just to kind of illustrate the problem we have. Now, this isn't really that bad. Right here, this is nothing if you think this is bad. Yeah, I was here last time and I was picking up those big pieces of styrofoam, and those are also kind of disintegrating, but only on the outsides. And the problem with that is you got to wear some kind of covering whenever you're doing that, because every time I get this kind of like chemically feeling, and it's not pleasant. And all I can imagine is that it's just me inhaling all these microplastics. So, get about up here, goes under the street. And see, these areas of Amarillo are very dirty. but selectively dirty. Like, of course, the people that, you know, maintain this land are not actually, like, all this mowing and everything. They don't care about the trash, don't care about any of that. So, native watermelons I see growing everywhere in the country. But yeah, that's where the private property begins, right there behind that fence. I wouldn't go into that. But I would just like to illustrate, if you want to know what this place looked like back before really we had a kind of permanent habitation here. This is the site right here where the camera's pointing, where the first like real pool was here, Gem Lake Road pool. There's a good photo of it in the 1920s, kind of showcasing, like pointing towards the west, where you can see the tops of it and you can't see a single tree or anything. It's just a vast plain of nothing. But now, of course, you can see that because of our importation of and wanting to roll all these elms, that now it's just overwhelming the area where, well, it can almost be considered a forest. It's so thick. And these things are virtually unheard of in the Texas Panhandle. So I'm going to go drive over to the other side and start recording over there. So here we are. Shout out to the guy blasting Massive Attack over there. But yeah, this was not mowed over last time that I was here. And as you can see, whoever managed this property, you know, does not care. Does not care about the trash. I spent so much of my time, like throughout the month of December, I was coming here nearly every day, as often as I could, trying to pick up as much as I can. But there's these trash cans right here, and I've seen people come and dump it, and I've literally watched all that trash just fly away. But as you can see, this is the state of things in Amarillo, Texas. This is unacceptable, and I can't see. It's not just even trash being dumped here. There's piles of brick, piles of concrete, piles of just various construction materials, gravel that people have just left here. And it makes me so furious, because, you know, you've sat there and you've watched literally everything just be replaced over again with trash. Yeah. Just want to go from the start of the creek up here and see, just going from there, just how things are right now. The piles of branches and whatnot are for me not really having a place to dump stuff. Also looks like somebody else has done it, because I didn't do that. I did that pile over there. And it's, yeah, it's, what can I say about it? It's just about as dirty as it was. Yep. As you can see, everything's came back all over again. Well, this is much easier to navigate in the winter time, I'll tell you what, but and there was a homeless man. I was living right here. I was spread out right here. I guess he got kicked out or something. But it's not, you know, it's not the worst over here even. This is not, believe it or not, this is not the worst. So as you can see, you know, got all these elm trees, all got this rotting elm disease introduced. What was it, like 1920s, 1930s? The elm leaf beetles, they burrow at the entrances to them, and not the entrances, but rather the base, and that exposes all this area where this fungi grow that cause the elm disease. I checked myself for ticks going through this maybe, but lots of animals out and about in Amarillo. Lots of dogs, lots of cats, and I don't exactly trust there to not be ticks in this. So it's not, as you can see, it's not the worst to navigate. It's just only got bad whenever the springtime came around and everything started growing back. But then again, there hasn't been, you know, virtually any rain, so and we were just about getting to the point where we were eliminating most of the trash. There's a lot, you know, that only me, 26-year-old man, and a 79-year-old man can do. Coming out here and trying to collect trash. There's just a lot of work to be done on this land, and it's owned by this church. We're gonna get up here, a church called Moore. Oh, let's put some outside here. Hey. Howdy. How you doing? Doing all right. How about you? On puppies. Hi. Hi.
That's Mary Jane.
Hi, puppies. Oh. Yeah, I'm just out here trying to record all the trash that's here. Trying to get some kind of rallying to like get people to come out here and clean it up. All this land is owned by that church up here, and they should definitely do something about it, especially over there.
I agree. Yeah. It's all owned by the church?
Well, it's I think the entirety of this section of Dry Creek is. Yeah.
I definitely will do my part and not add to it.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
So what are you doing this for?
Just remove trash. I mean,
like for a group or
it's for keep Amarillo clean. That's what I do it through. It's owned by this guy, 80-year-old guy from India. Goes around picking up trash, and me and him do that. We're here like throughout December picking up trash, trying to get as much as we can.
Right on. Like I said, I definitely won't cause no problems. I only plan on being here like a week and a half.
Yeah, man, don't worry about it. To each their own. You know, it's not going to be like, oh yeah, there's a guy here, and I've got to immediately call the cops and all this stuff. No,
I appreciate it if you wouldn't. I mean, the neighbors down there, you did that already.
Yeah.
And I exhausted my efforts asking everybody if I could put a tent up in their backyard.
Well, it's just what can you do in your position, you know?
With 5 dogs.
Where are they from? Like,
I'm from here. The dogs are from here. I plan on moving up to Kentucky with my girlfriend on the 15th.
Okay. Huh.
Start something new.
Well, very happy to hear that you got an opportunity coming.
Yeah.
Something.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
Oh, I'm exhausted. I've made about 50 trips. The most trash is all the way.
Yeah, that's where I'm going down to the power station over there. Just this is the area I was cleaning the most, and yeah, take it easy, man.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Bye. Wonder. Get up to this tree. I wanted to show off. It might be around that guy's camp, but I'm not sure. So everything's grown up again. Look at all that. Man. And see, the problem is even getting out here. See, like, it looks like you could just take that right there, but it's not. You can't just keep driving down that path, I don't think, because I tried once and well, here, this is about parallel with the church now, because that's their property. And man, my philosophy on the homeless, you know, again, like just exactly what I told him, you know, to each their own. You don't know why somebody's on the street. You don't know why, you know, but all you can really know is that they're suffering. an immense amount. That they don't enjoy, they don't get to have the same comforts or virtually anything that the average person gets to have. And you know, regardless of whatever took them to that point, you can't just judge somebody for that. Now, it's true that a majority of homeless people here, you know, they're not even from here. What the what? You just can't really know the reality. And that's fresh, man. That's fresh. That's like somebody's gonna come back and get it. But look at the eggs. The eggs and the bread. This is definitely somebody's like stash for things. I'm just dumping it out here. You know, because I've you know, people have asked me, it's like, well, how can you stand the homeless? You know, whenever it's they claim, you know, it's the homeless creating majority of these messes. They're not taking care of it. They don't care. They, you know, why should they have to? And again, just, you know, growing up, my father, you know, he always used to say, don't feed the bears, you know, don't give to them, you know, because they'll become reliant on you. But that's dehumanizing, quite honestly. Like, they're not even people, they're just animals. But again, just how can anything change, you know, unless we decide to take it into our hands? And that's kind of why he's the guy that founded Keep Amarillo Clean, Babji. He's trying to get something set up with Transformation Park here so that we can go and do cleanups with them. We had one recently. I didn't go to that one, but mainly though, they had like a cookout and gave them some food for going out and picking up some trash nearby, and that was a good deal. So I hope there's lots more opportunities like that. And you know, it's not necessarily about giving the homeless, you know, money. I don't think that's generally a good idea with the homeless. The best idea is to give them basic commodities that any human would need. Like, I was picking up trash over there by Transformation Park before that cleanup happened, and man, you know, I was cleaning up one day, and then the very next, some homeless woman had come by and dumped clean clothes, clean like bed sheets, clean pillowcases, all this stuff just on the side of a road. And even more insulting, on top of where I was cleaning previously. Like, you couldn't make it up. But, you know, I took those clothes that were, you know, even still folded, and before they could, you know, get too dirty, because they, you know, some of them lying on the ground but still folded, I took them down to the homeless over at Transformation Park. They were very thankful for that, and more so, again, went back and was cleaning more, and I found somebody's like prison outfit. It just got out of prison in Oklahoma. And, you know, had all these clean clothes, clean prison clothes, and even had some soap, some shampoo. And I got real emotional, man, whenever I took it over, because this one homeless lady was just saying, I hate being dirty so much, you know. I'm dirty all the time, and I hate being dirty. So thank you, you know. And I just, you know, kind of broke down a little bit. You know, it's not a bunch of money that the homeless need. What they really need is just some of the basic commodities that we need as human beings to have some level of comfort, some level of self-maintenance. So just, you look at this mess and it's disgusting. It's such a drag to think about, to look at, to consider. You know, this is the way we treat the place we live. But at the same time, you know, it's just not entirely fair to cast judgment, because that's just ultimately we don't understand or know. This church called Moore was thinking about doing some kind of cleanup. I mean, they have to, honestly. I don't know what's stopping me from reporting all of this to the marshal's office, because they were talking about doing that way back then. One of them encountered me picking up trash in that field over there. And it's like, that land is, from my memory, it goes a little bit beyond the fencing that United owns, and they just don't take care of it. And obviously, whoever came by and mowed all that is just the bane of my existence. Sorry, but I will take like 5 homeless people for one person who constantly wants to mow over trash. Because it doesn't do anything. It just makes everything worse. It kicks up dirt in the air. It, you know, you talk about beautification and all this other stuff, and you know how the marshal's office will fine you for having plants above a certain height and ungroomed, you know, but you know, who cares about the trash? You know, who cares that all this stuff is going to have an opportunity to turn into microplastics and to poison the environment that we collectively share? Because all this stuff is going to go down, flow down over time with more rain and moisture coming down, and it's just gonna wash all of this out to the Canadian. All of this, man. It's all gonna eventually end up down there. And I can't even stand it. You know, there's lots of Lots of things that they didn't have to run over plant-wise too. Might look like a field of nothing, but I'm, you know, walking over all this. There's the mesquite that, you know, keeps getting ran over. Doesn't have an opportunity to ever turn into an actual tree. But yeah. Best of luck to that guy and his endeavors in Kentucky. Ouch, I just stepped on like a sticker. Got in my shoe. It's just so baffling to me. How do we even let it get this bad? Hopefully somebody out there notices and cares. So, thanks for watching.